Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO 44 coming at you with another video. Feeling pretty good, man. The day after the first round of the draft. Today we work on the second round of the draft. Um, just paying attention to everything that has to do with the Lakers, podcasting, and people who are basically talking about Dalton Connect. I still have a lot of listening to do. But one thing that I did appreciate was listening to myself. Believe it or not, when it came down to it, there was about 2 months ago I made a video breaking down Nikola Topic, Williams, and Connect. And Connect was the guy that I talked the most about because I ended up doing the most homework on him that night. And some, if not most of what was said there, I really had forgotten. So when I walk away from listening to that video, I feel even better about Dalton Connect. I felt great about him to begin with because I did generally remember what I liked about him, but some of the details of what it is that I had learned, I had forgotten about. So that was really something that kind of jogged my brain about this player. You know, one thing that I had completely forgotten about is that it was a key point that I made, saying that most teams that were going against him were throwing their best defenses at him and he was still thriving. And I think that's a key to understand. He's going to be like our third option, but he's used to taking on double teams. He's used to taking on hard closeouts and stuff like that and thriving and getting his points up anyway. This is a lethal scorer we picked up. Maybe one of the most prolific scorers in this draft. And I know people think this is a bad draft, but he wasn't a bad player. He wasn't somebody who likely would have been taken out of the lottery in most situations. So that he fell out of the lottery in this situation is manna from heaven for us, and kind of strange for the league to have kind of let him fall the way that they did. But that's how the board shook up, and we were very happy that it happened that way. So that's really what comes to mind for me. I think there's going to be some teams that wish they took Dalton, and I think it's basically us who are happy that we got our guy. Now today we talked about the second round. I was listening to the Laker Nation folks, as I do every day, and essentially they were saying that there may be opportunities for the Lakers to move into the second round. Minnesota at this point, based on their cap situation, probably don't want to add another player at all to their situation unless they make some moves, some trades that we don't see coming. But they may be willing to move on from 37, and I think that's key. Indiana has 3 second-round picks, and they're a playoff team that just went into the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know that they need this many prospects coming into their organization at this time. Most of the players that they have on tap are young. They don't have an old team to begin with, so I don't know if they need all 3 of these. In fact, I'm pretty damn certain they don't. So I would be talking to Indy if I'm any team that wants to pull into the second round. They got pick 36, pick 49, and 50. So those are all picks that I would want if I'm the field. So the Lakers need to call them and see if they can grab something there, in my opinion. Let's see, there's some other teams too. Minnesota is already mentioned. The Knicks got another pick at 38. I don't know that they need another prospect. I'm sure they're happy to have the pick, but they got so many picks between now and then. They may be willing to do something at 38. They also have 51. So I think this is second round is better than usual second rounds. That's what I will say. Even though this is a bad draft, it's not a bad draft as it equates to everybody in it sucking. It just doesn't have a superstar at the top. Well, the top is already behind us. Now we're starting to get to a space where the draft should be comparable to other drafts. In fact, I think it's above most other drafts when you start talking about the 31 through 58 range. It's worth noting that most of the time there's 2 extra picks. It goes to 60, but 2 of the picks have been forfeited because teams did some stuff they weren't supposed to do and they lost their picks. So that's why it only goes up to 58. So that's going to be the thing, man. We just pay attention to the prospects that are going. Obviously, we know we're going to use a pick on Bronny unless somebody else takes him before we get a chance to. But 55 is pretty much a lock, in my opinion, to go to Bronny James. I would be floored, like shocked beyond belief, if the Lakers do not take Bronny James at 55. I don't see that coming, especially with Phoenix right now picking up Denver's 56 pick. Phoenix, of course, worked out Bronny. They picked up that pick just to put pressure on us to take Bronny at 55. So I don't know how that equates, but I can tell you that if we don't take him, we won't get him in the undrafted pool. I'm positive of that. Phoenix will take him at 56. So I think that puts even more pressure on the Lakers to possibly get another second round pick just in case they targeted somebody that ain't Bronny James and they would not draft Bronny James. Now that you got to basically say, no, we're not getting that prospect unless we can find another pick in this draft. But again, I think that'll be possible. But I do think there will be other teams who probably want to move into this draft even further. I think Golden State Warriors, they have the 52nd pick. I have no doubt that if they are paying attention to what they need, they probably want to get something more so in the 30s and 40s. So the Clippers are another team that I think could be looking at a turn of the page on their timeline. They have pick number 46. I'd imagine they'd want another one too. And God knows how many other teams that would love to get in the second round here. So yeah, it's a thing. Boston has 54. They pick right before us, so don't put it past them to do something evil like taking Bronny at 54. Don't put it past them, because they know what our circumstances are, and if they could stick it to the Lakers, that might be something they'd be willing to do. So be mentally prepared for something weird like that to happen. And so on and so forth. But, I mean, for me, the urgency for having Bronny James on the team is the concern of losing LeBron James. I don't have urgency about not having the player, period. There are other players on this board I'd rather have. But we're in lockstep with the organization. Obviously, JJ's our coach. I think it would be great for chemistry if we do not pass on Bronny James. I think that would be great for JJ's start of his tenure, if he's not a part of the war room that passes on Bron's kids. So, yeah, man, that's noteworthy. I really don't know how likely it is the Lakers are able to get further into the second round, but I'm very, very hopeful that they will try to get it further into this second round. Get another one, if at all possible. We have a center position to address, so there's some good centers here that we need to, hopefully try to get a hold of. Obviously, some of the better ones that are at the top of the list, Adam Bona, Filipowski, probably don't look realistic. I think those guys are probably going in the first couple of picks of this draft, the second round rather. Uric Chomchi is somebody that I would love for us to take a look at that center position. Trevon Brazile, even though he's a little skinny, probably more of a 4. He could probably fill that role to some degree, at least give us another body. Osari Ishdargo is somebody that I expect to be going early in the second round. So, the options at center are not quite plentiful, but if the Lakers can get in that range, maybe they can grab another prospect. There's so many good ones still left on the board, man. Johnny Furphy's still on the board, so I'd imagine he's probably gone within the first 3 picks. He should be gone. I think the first 3 picks are almost, I ain't going to say a lock because those guys should have been in the first round, but the guys that should not be on the board for long are Tyler Smith, Filipowski, and Furphy. They should be going the first 3 picks, in my opinion. You also got Tyler Kolek, a nice point guard, who I think should be going early in the first round. So Toronto, Utah, Milwaukee, Portland, and San Antonio are the first 5 picks there, and I'd expect for them to wipe that out. They're going to take those guys and get them out of there early, in my opinion. But you never know, man. It depends on how far, once you start getting into the second round, guys that have fallen out of the first round, you don't know how important it is for some of these teams to pass up on guys that they had as locks on their board. So guys falling further isn't the craziest thing in the world, but I don't think they fall too far. I don't imagine most of those guys fall past 37 Minnesota. I don't see it. So that's why I want the Lakers to try to target Indy's 36 pick, target Minnesota's 37. Try to see if you can get one of those 2 picks, because I think there's a chance you get a first round talent in the first 6 picks or 7 picks of the second round. Yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting day, Cam Christie's still on the board, but Max's brother, a lot of people thought he would go in the first round. Nikola Jurzik is a player who has a lot of talent, who's going to be there in that second round. Trenton Flowers, somebody I'm very, very high on for a second round talent. He may be available in the second half of the second round. Jalen Bridges, somebody I know can help us right away. Enrique Freeman, somebody I would target in this range as well, with a lot of energy. Harrison Ingram, I think, is someone who can help us. AJ Mitchell is someone that's high on a lot of people's board. Jamal Sheed is somebody that's high on a lot of people's second round board. So it's a lot of talent here, man, left to draft. Jonathan Mogbo is somebody I've been hearing a lot about. So the Lakers, I don't know that we would get any of those guys because obviously we've reserved 55 for Bronny, but if for some reason somebody decides to take Bronny early, there are some prospects on here that I would be very happy to have, man. Very happy to have. So, you know, it is what it is, man. This is going to be a nail-biting day for the Los Angeles Lakers organization. I'm sure it's a lot of anxiety coming with what could go wrong here in us not being able to get Bronny James. But if Bron is on board with us, regardless if we sign his son or not, then it should be a lot easier for us to just make a good decision with whatever falls to us, because there are some really good, talented players that are going to fall to 55 that are going to go undrafted. And once you take Bronny James, you're leaving somebody on the board for certain. So that's the truth. I think Bronny James is a nice prospect, but I stand on the idea that he probably should have stayed in school or stayed in school and went to a different college. I would have loved for him to do that. I think I'd feel a lot better about him next year in the second round than I do about him this year in the second round. Definitely certain of that. Which means he's going to develop well. I think the chance of him becoming a nice role player in this league or even a starter isn't bad. With his explosiveness, his shooting ability, and his defense, those are things you want. He's just going to have to work. He's a project, man. Potentially 2 years away from being 2 years away. And so that's why it's so good that we were able to get to Connect, because Connect is ready at 23 years old. He's ready to go. There ain't no waiting on him. He should be ready to contribute. He may be able to be your first man off the bench or even a starter in this rotation right now. Wouldn't shock me if he's a starter soon in JJ's rotation. I'm going to say something that may sound crazy, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was our third leading scorer. Wouldn't shock me at all, because he's a scorer. That's what he does. He's going to be open because Bron and AD are going to create space for him, Austin Reeves as well. So the opportunities for him to get his looks every night, all things equal, he should be able to play for the Lakers right away and be a massive contributor. I would be very disappointed if he comes in and stumbles over his feet and isn't able to be a part of the rotation. I just don't see that for him. I think we have an open small forward position, and I think he's going to fill it. So call me crazy, but I think we got a contributor, somebody who's going to be getting starters minutes in this draft. That's why it's kind of funny reading the comment section of the Laker Nation YouTube video that I just saw, because the comments are not really aware of who they just picked up. We don't know. They're gonna fall in love with him quickly when they see what he can do, but a lot of people still looking at him and saying, it's just another guy, we should have traded the pick. Nobody who's actually watched him play is saying that. Nobody that actually did homework on him is saying that. Not at all. You got a lottery pick with the 17th overall pick. It is by far the steal of the first round. And I know too that you have to consider that Utah guy Collier at 29, who was also supposed to be in the top 20, top 15. But Collier, I'm not as high on Collier, to be honest with you. So him falling is not crazy to me. I expected him to fall. Not that far, but fall just the same. I didn't expect Connect to fall. I don't think anybody did. So he could have went as high as 5 to the Pistons. And there were about 6 other places that I thought he would have fit just fine, and they just all passed on him. So this is great. This is great, man. I'm very happy about that. I think we need to find a way to get a center. But if you zoom out and don't be so zeroed in on this year, you're happy you picked up this player for the next 4 years on a rookie contract. Having Connect on a rookie contract is crazy. When you consider the idea that we're a win-now team, and then you look at the age of guys who just signed $250 million contracts, like, for example, who just signed a big contract with Toronto? Scotty Barnes? He's 23. So, not to say that I'm comparing the two, but a guy that age is already making real money in the NBA. We got Dalton on a contract that's a rookie contract all the way until he's what? I think rookie contracts usually are like 3 or 4 years till like he's 27 years old. And you're talking about somebody who's likely going to be one of your best scorers over the next 3 years. So you don't have to wait on him either. You should be ready to go and be a contributor. I don't know. I'm going to say something that's going to sound crazy, but I think with the role that we could potentially put him in, I think he could be an all rookie. I know it's way too early for that, but if he's on the all rookie team at the end of the year, it won't be surprising to me. It won't be surprising to me because the role, the fit, how I'd imagine the coaching staff is going to cater to him, his style of play, and just how intent he is on doing what he does a lot. I think he's going to be one of the top 5 rookies in this league this year. I really do. Some of the other guys that went certain places, they're not going to be featured like him. They're just not. Or they're in weird fits. They're playing behind a guy that's in their position, playing next to a guy that's in their position. It's not a hell of a lot of great fits in this situation, looking at how the first round went. Not a hell of a lot. I think Sarr's in a good place to be featured. I think Castle's in a good spot to be featured. Rob Dillingham is definitely in a great spot to be featured. The Utah guys, Cody Williams and Collier, are going to have their opportunities, I believe. Buzelis is definitely in a good place for him to be featured if the Bulls shake some things around. I think he'll be a starter on their team. But like some of these guys, they're not in great spots. Bob Carrington, everybody on Washington's should be able to have a nice role. But like, I don't know what the role is going to be for Khalil Ware. I don't know what the role is going to be for Donovan Clingan when you got Ayton in place. A lot of people think Zach Edey's going to play a lot, but we got to see how that actually pans out for the Grizzlies. They got a lot of people they got to deal with there. Reece Shea is going to be in an interesting situation because I think he's a project. So even though I like him going to the Hawks, I don't think he's going to be an early contributor right away. Ron Holland playing for the Pistons, I don't like that fit. He can't shoot. They can't shoot. I don't think he's going to be featured like that. I'm worried about him in Detroit early on. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't think there are a lot of great fits here based on what I'm looking at. Not a lot. So I think we could potentially, just by default, based on what I'm looking at, have a guy who will be featured enough to be one of the top rookies of the season. So that's what needs to be said. I think the Lakers got their starting small forward last night. I really do. So, yeah, that's what's on my mind, man. Just wanted to sing more praises to Dalton Knecht. I think we got a real shooter, too. We don't draft shooters very often in our history. Guys that can really shoot the 3-ball. Obviously, D'Angelo Russell broke 3-ball records last year. I think Dalton Knecht going to be hunting those records down. What D'Lo just did last year, I think Dalton Knecht probably going to break those records if we keep him in our uniform long enough. Those 3-point records. I don't know that Dalton is exactly as talented as D'Lo is overall, but as far as being a consistent scorer, I trust Dalton Knecht to be more consistent of a scorer than D'Lo. D'Lo gonna have them nights where he don't score at all, really. Some nights he go for 40, other nights he go for 12. That's not how Dalton's wired. Dalton's probably gonna go for 15 or more every night. Every night, especially if you give him 25 minutes a night, he's gonna score every night. So. Yeah, man, I'm really, really thrilled with this piece. I wish we had other things in place so that we didn't have so much to worry about in regards to our roster. But again, look at the value the Lakers got at 17. And people are talking about trading picks for role players. Look at what we got at 17. Why, after seeing what was possible tonight, after seeing what was possible last year, even though we passed on it, Cam Whitmore fell to us at 17. Why in the blue hell would anybody trade picks away in our situation? I don't look. I was listening to Laker Nation after talking about how much they appreciated getting Dalton Knecht. Then they went on to say, now, would you trade a first-round pick for Time Lord in Portland? Hell no. Hell no. Ain't no way in hell. 0% chance I'm going to okay that. Do not trade a first-round pick away just to fill a roster spot with a guy who's going to be hurt, with a guy who's okay. No, absolutely not. Because when the pick comes around, this is what could be possible. You could get a guy that's better than the field just being in the right spot at the right time. You've mortgaged that pick away, and Dalton Knecht's playing for the damn Portland Trailblazers. Like, no. It doesn't equate, man. Especially when you're talking about a guy like Time Lord who misses 60 games a damn season. Absolutely not. No. Hell no. Emphatic no, man. Hard pass. So I just want to put that out there. I get it. We need a center and then we don't have a lot to trade. But I would rather go in with my picks and maybe struggling with certain things than going in without my picks and then seeing the future pan out with players going to different teams. You know what I mean? That I need in the draft. No, man. We just got our starting small forward with a pick that a lot of people want to trade away. No. He's going to be a cult hero in LA when people realize what he can actually do. He's going to be your favorite player next to Austin Reeves. And you would have given him away to just fill some roster spot. You would have given him away to get freaking Jonathan Isaac, who's going to play like 20 games a season. Stop being this way, Laker Nation. Be patient. Let your picks come to you, and you will have contributors on rookie contracts. And remember, please remember this. We have good scouts. Our scouts have a good eye for talent. So when you have draft picks, you can empower them to do what it is they do best. You trading all that crap away so you can fill some roster spot with some dude that has already 1,000 miles on his legs? No, man. Stop thinking this way. It's not that serious to fill your roster up with guys that are just going to be guys that you can't even retrade in the market most of the time. Robert Williams is worth nothing. Nothing. Because he cannot stay healthy worth a damn. I get what he is when he's healthy, but he ain't been that. And the wear and tear on the knee injuries and a bunch of knee surgeries and all that, nothing, fam. I wouldn't be willing to trade 2 second rounders for that dude. If they want to do a salary match with trash I don't want to give me Robert Williams, I still don't want that deal. That's how little he's going to play. That's how little his history shows us he plays. You understand what I'm saying? Just because Portland was stupid enough to trade away Drew Holiday for him and Malcolm Brogdon doesn't mean I'm stupid enough to do anything of the sort. Absolutely not. Yes, I need a center. And that's why he's not the guy. Because you know what happens when I bring him here? I still need a center. Because his ass ain't going to be on the floor. So no, stop suggesting we do stupid crap with first round picks. The same night you get lottery value with the 17th pick. It's absolutely asinine to me, man. People have to stop doing this. Stop doing this. The best thing you could do for yourself is take the trash you have, don't attach no picks to it, and get a role-playing center. Do we have some trash? I believe we do. There are some guys here. They're going to opt in. Some of them we don't want anymore. You package them together and you send them out for a solid center. That's really all you got to do, man. That's all. And then you empower Castleton. You empower Anthony Davis to play the minutes necessary. Hopefully he's having a great summer. And you just live with the results, because at the end of the day, if you're giving away picks to try to fill a roster spot just so you can have a center in place that's going to get cooked any damn way, you're defeating the purpose. What do you need a center for? So that they can guard people that the centers that you are asking to come in are not going to have any success against. Keep that in mind. What's Robert Williams hurt going to do against Jokic? Get scored on just like Anthony Davis. Get scored on just like Castleton. Just get scored on just like everybody else. Like Jackson Hayes. He ain't going to have no more success than any of those people. Only he's going to be on the floor less than those people. Hell no, Robert Williams. If the Portland Trail Blazers want me to take Robert Williams, they need to attack some picks. Give me your second round picks, and then we'll do some salary matches for Robert Williams. I ain't bringing in a player that should likely retire very soon because his injury, his body ain't going to hold up. Hell no. If I'm thinking that way, why don't I just pick up somebody who's retired right now? See if Shaq want to play center for us. See if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar want to play. Since we want to pick up guys that can't do nothing no more. It's ridiculous. No, man. Time Lord was nice before the injury issues started robbing him of his career. At this point, I don't expect him to play more than 20 games a season. He can't be on the floor for longer than 15 minutes a night. It's absolutely not. So let that be clear, man. No. There are other options. And we have to canvass the league for those options. Period. But the fact that we were able to get Dalton Connect and weren't able to fill our center position left us in this position. It doesn't mean you mortgage more of your picks. It means you value the idea of what picks can mean because you just got manna from heaven by way of a pick. You don't trade away a damn pick. And I don't care if it has protection on it or not. Because remember, we just got lottery talent for 17th overall pick. So if this, what can you do with the 6th pick in a good draft if this is allegedly a bad one? You know what I'm saying? No, hell no. We'll give that to Portland so they can continue to build what they're trying to build and they rebuild. Absolutely not. No. Zero. I'm not trading no picks for nothing but other picks. That's it. Unless somebody wants to give me LaMelo Ball or, you know, the Donovan Mitchell type level player. Obviously even better players. But anything below that, I'm not sending out no picks, no protection, unprotected, nothing. Second rounders, maybe. I'll do maybe some second rounders. But first round picks when we only have 3 left, I ain't mortgaging none of that. It don't make sense for us with an older core. It makes no sense. No more mortgaging. If it has 28, 27, 30, none of that. We leave that to teams like Minnesota with young cores who will carry them through those years. We don't have that. Anthony Davis and LeBron James are not going to be playing in year 2029, 2030. So you ain't got no business mortgaging away anything from those years. Shoot. So that's what needed to be said, man. I cannot stress that enough. That's basically what we've been talking about all week. And Dalton Knecht being drafted at 17 only further reinforces the point. You don't mortgage picks. I don't care if the whole world is jumping off a cliff. You stay beyond that threshold. Don't fall with them. Let them all fall. And we will preserve our lives the wiser. So that's really what I have to say about that, man. No more mortgaging picks to get role players. No, man, hell no. I don't care about none of these proposed trades that involve first round picks. They all suck. BDL 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.